Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me well? I hope my microphone is working. My name is Kaspars Rūklis, and I'm a trainer of communication. I try to work internationally, and I try to also work with many new digital technologies. But why I'm here and why I was invited and why I agreed to moderate this session is because I want to be a digital entrepreneur one day. So I'm a digital entrepreneur wannabe, so to speak. And I'm very honored to have a very distinguished group of people here that actually are already successful digital entrepreneurs. Or I guess in the case of Michel, he knows a lot about it and he works to support them. This session is supposed to be a session where we are trying to look at how our distinguished panelists were successful and what were the things that scared them when they started their businesses in the digital environment. And perhaps it can be an open session where they can share some of the things that can help others who want to start work in this area and become independent and work as digital entrepreneurs. To start this session, we would like to show a little video. Oh, okay, I'll introduce everyone before we start, I guess. So we will start with Michel, Catinat from the European Commission. Then we have Andrejs Vasiļjevs from Tilde, Kristaps Banga from Connection Codes, Mihails Galuška from Latvian Radio and TV Center, Fabrizio Porrino from FacilityLive from Italy, and Viesturs Sosārs from the TechHub in Riga, that helps the entrepreneurs to find a starting spot. But before we start the session, let's enjoy a little video from Vodify campaign.
Taking a first step has always been overwhelming. It has always been a threshold, a source of doubt. But in the end, it's always been so rewarding. The same is true for your company. Going digital is a scary challenge. That's why the European Commission is launching Whatify. A platform that will help you take your first digital steps. Help you find answers and help you overcome your doubts over your business's online future.
So this session will be about overcoming doubts before you become an online entrepreneur. And I hope that this will be a chance for us to ask questions and share information about these doubts that these entrepreneurs are having when they are just about to start their businesses. Also we have as you know already, a hashtag for the event. So if you have any comments, you can post them. We have a Twitter wall that is not up at the moment, but I hope it will come back very soon. And also, if you have questions for any of the speakers, please post them on Twitter, or you will also have a chance to ask them a little bit later. How we'll do the session, we'll do 3 presentations and then we'll do a little discussion. So please do try to think about your questions already now. And then afterwards, we'll do the second part and again, a little bit longer discussion session. And just like for me, remember that also for you, for those of you who are thinking themselves or who know people that are people that you're working with that are thinking about perhaps entering this new area, think about that and think about some questions that we can ask to people that have been successful in this area already. And now I think we are ready for a little introductory presentation and perhaps a little more explanation of what Whatify is from the European Commission representative, Michel Catinat. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kaspar. Good morning to everybody. I'm not at all an entrepreneur. I'm from the European Commission, and so what we try to do is to create the conditions and to create some incentives for entrepreneurs to become digital. And of course, I'm very happy to participate to this roundtable where I can also learn from entrepreneurs and learn about what are their main difficulties. So what I would like to do today is to give you some insight on the digital transformation of industry and enterprises. It's not the digital transformation of the economy, which is another level of ambition. What we try to do now is to focus on the digital transformation of industry and enterprises. And what I would like to do is to give you some insight on our current reflections about the opportunities, about the difficulties, and also about the kind of actions that we can take at the policy level, at the EU level, but of course also at the local level, because as entrepreneurs you are confronted with local realities. So what I would like to say also is that behind this concept of digital transformation, the skill issue is certainly one of the big issues, so it's completely linked with e-skills initiative. But what is interesting here is that there is a new political request to speed up the digital transformation, which means that, of course, skills issues are part of it, and the impact of this initiative is to broaden the scope of skills issues. So which means that now we are not only speaking about skills of ICT practitioners, but also skills of managers. And this is completely different, because for the managers, what they have to know is not so much to go into the deep knowledge of these digital technologies, but more on how to use these technologies, how to lead some teams, ICT practitioners, just to design their strategy and to become digital, and then to access, because that's the challenge, to access immediately a worldwide market. So I have some slides. Somebody will shift the slides, or I will do it?
Actually, you have this.
Okay, thank you. So I have a series of slides. So the first slide, well, here, our starting point is that we are observing a new wave of digital technology. And this new wave of digital technologies is driven by basically 4 or 5 new technologies, which are the mobile communication, the cloud, big data, social media, and Internet of Things. What we think is that that's the second wave of the digital revolution. And this wave will certainly have much bigger impact than previously. Because now the impact of this second wave of digital technologies will not only affect the process of production, will not only impact the administrative support of the companies, but will completely and deeply change the business model. So in other words, this new wave will challenge traditional way of doing business. So it's really the true digital revolution. So here you will find some figures. The first one, 55%. What you have to understand is that the main impact of this second wave of digital technologies will help the companies to transform themselves. It's not, and it's where are the most value added and most of the benefits. It's not about new startup. We need, of course, startup. We need ICT startup proposing some new ICT solution. But even in the traditional sectors, they can benefit from this transformation. And 55% of the impact will be in traditional companies and in traditional sectors. Well, the second figure, it's 1.5 million. So it's what are our expectations in terms of job creation. So it's very huge. And the last figure is about the SMEs. Well, the SMEs are certainly the most innovative companies in the EU. And we know that innovation starts in most cases from the SMEs. And so what we think is that the SMEs can grow between 2 and 3 times faster when they embrace digital means. So it's a huge opportunity for European businesses and entrepreneurs, and we cannot afford to miss that. So that's the reason why at the EU level we have decided to build up a solid European strategy to speed up the digital transformation of industry and enterprises. Okay. So now, what is the diagnosis? The diagnosis is that Europe is missing its opportunity up to now, unfortunately. While we have nearly 50% of EU citizens which are already shopping online, we have only 14% of SMEs which are using the internet as a sales channel. Now, if we look at the percentage of companies using the 5 new digital technologies I've mentioned previously, we have only 2%. And we have also 40% of the European companies that don't use any of these 5 digital technologies. So there is a huge opportunities for most of the companies. And now if we compare the big companies and the SMEs, well, the situation is even worse for the SMEs. And it's in the SMEs where we know that the innovation comes from, and it's where the job creation starts. So huge opportunity for the EU. Here you will read a quote from my commissioner, Elżbieta Bieńkowska. She is responsible for my DG and Commissioner for Internal Market, Industry, Entrepreneurship and SMEs. So you will see that in the quote she mentioned the fact that Europe cannot afford to miss these opportunities and that we need a strong digital single market. So I will basically speak about that right now. You may know, and I mentioned it in my introductory speech, for the President Juncker, digitalization is at the top of his priorities. When he has been elected mid of July in front of the European Parliament, he has proposed 10 key priorities for his mandate. And the second one is about connected digital single market. So the result of this is that Vice President Ansip, he was a former Prime Minister of Estonia. He's very knowledgeable about digital technologies. He's preparing the so-called digital single market. And you can see in these slides different topics that he will address. First, it's to build trust and confidence, and then to take a series of different measures, including to build the digital economy. So we are very active as services to provide him with new initiatives, new ideas. Believe me, I do my best to ensure that the digitalization of enterprises and industry will be part of this digital single market package. that skills will be part of this digital single market initiative. Now, don't ask me what will be the digital single market. Nobody knows. We are really in the middle of a process of political choice. It's up to him to decide. My bet is that what we will do is to present a kind of very framework package with some key directives and some hooks from some other actions, including the digitalization of industry and enterprises. Now, what I would like to do is to show you some actions that we have started to implement to speed up the digitalization of enterprises and industry. So first, we have set up 1 year ago an observatory. It's what we call the Digital Entrepreneurship Monitor. And so here, what we do, it's first to monitor the key technological and market trends, also to highlight all the emerging business opportunities. And also what we are doing is to follow all the different national initiatives and measures which are taken by the different member states. And here, the surprise is that we have been able to identify something as 1,200 such initiatives, national initiatives, which could be a good signal. The only problem is that all these initiatives are completely fragmented. So there is no clear framework policy in the member states. In other words, when you look at what is done, very often it's focused on some issues, for instance, access to finance, whereas some other issues are not addressed at all. You have some inconsistencies between the different measures taken by the different member states. And so the result of this is that, of course, we have discussed it with the member states, and they ask us to create at the EU level a kind of strategy, European strategy, to help them to ensure much more coherence and also to ensure that all the different issues are addressed, which is not at all the case right now. What we are doing also is this awareness campaign, pan-European awareness campaign, which is called Whatify. So Whatify, it means what if I? And so the idea was to say, well, if for any kind of entrepreneurs, if they want to start becoming digital entrepreneurs, it's not that easy. There are some doubts. So what we have tried to do is to avoid to say, well, but please do it. I mean, the technologies are there. You have some examples. You look at your competitors, they do it. Look at the US, they do it. So it's easy, you have to do it. No, it's not easy. So all the campaign, and maybe that's the reason of the success of this campaign touch upon the doubts, touch upon the difficulties, and try to highlight these difficulties, and of course to propose some solutions based on best practices. That's the idea of Whatify. And I would say that this campaign has been launched some months ago. The impact has exceeded our expectation. I have here some figures. We have more than 15,000 people which are following Whatify on Facebook, more than 2,200 on Twitter. That's the same in LinkedIn. There are some videos in this campaign which has been watched by more than 30,000 times on Facebook and YouTube. So it's a lot of impact. So what we are doing also is we have started launching what we call Euromentor. So this, if you look at what's happening at the local level, you have some initiative, some platform, which are mentoring platform and which help locally the entrepreneurs to become digital entrepreneurs. So what we want to do, of course, it's to network all these different local initiatives, to extract from these different local initiative best practices, to diffuse these best practices, and to finance some activities which for the entrepreneurs, which includes training, advice, and hands-on coaching. And the last point we have done, it's in this slide. We have written down an online guide. It's 10 things to know when selling online. So it's very practical. It's 10 questions with 10 set of answers, and this is directed to the entrepreneurs to help them to face and to fix some difficulties. Now, in terms of governance, John Higgins has mentioned it in the introductory session. We have set up a high-level group with all the key stakeholders, basically private stakeholders, but in some cases also some representative of some ministries. And the mandate of this group has been to say, well, please advise us on what could be this strategy, this European strategy to speed up the digital transformation. So the report, I have the report here, so you will have this report. It will be released on the 24th of March. You will see it's very practical. It's not just policy story. It's very practical. It's very concrete. And of course, now our challenge as the European Commission will be to implement all that. There are 4 pillars. One of the pillars is about skills. And on the skills, the idea is to help all the training institutes, all the universities, all the MBA schools, when they develop their courses, when they design their courses, to ensure that they teach not only management skills, but attach to these management skills what is required in terms of knowledge for the managers to ensure that they will think digital when they develop their strategy. They will be able to understand all the opportunities, and they will be able to recruit the specialists which will help them to develop their digital businesses. And the final slides about governance. Well, we have worked with the member states. We have set up a member states board on digital entrepreneurship. Well, the idea here is that, of course, there is a lot of knowledge in the different member states, but remember what I said, it's a little bit fragmented. So we have worked with them not only to have their input for the design of our European strategy, and now that we will have a second step, which is the implementation, to ensure that at the member states level, they will implement most of the actions that we will trigger at the EU level. And to finish, what I want to say is that what we can do at the EU level is to create the conditions. But if you look at the e-skill initiative or this initiative, of course, what we want to do is to involve other stakeholders. We will not be successful if all the different stakeholders appropriate in a way this kind of ambition, and then act in such a way that at the end of the day the European Union will face this challenge and will become a digital economy. So it's what I wanted to say. I don't know whether I've been too long or too short.
Thank you.
But it's
been very good. I have a question I want to post on Twitter saying that Spotify offers mentoring help for new digital entrepreneurs. Would that be correct?
Yes, it's absolutely correct.
Because I think it's always good when you're starting something to have someone who actually has the experience. And so I'm tweeting it, and
okay.
It's correct. Thank you very much. Okay, but we are very lucky here because we have, you know, a whole table of mentors, and I would like to give the floor to Andrejs Vasiļjevs, who started out as a digital entrepreneur already back in the 90s, and he will share his story.
Thank you. Yeah, to change the scene, I will better talk while standing. And here we do have an interesting setup of entrepreneurs, from the startups to the veterans. I think I represent the later category, but what's important, I think entrepreneurship, it's necessary not only at the very beginning when you start to do something. Entrepreneurship is important actually every day. And yeah, let me tell our story. Also, I should say, I don't think that entrepreneurship is a profession and what I'm actually an entrepreneur. I think entrepreneurship is a characteristic, a feature, a skill set. And to be really successful, you need a solid background in some field, you need a good heart, and you need that skill set. That could be inborn or could be acquired. But let's talk about our story, and yeah, my story could not be separated from the story of Tilde, the company that we founded back in 90s, quite a long time ago, well before digital photography. That's why this quality of this picture. We were young, very enthusiastic. Our country was young, recently regained independence. And industry was young, and technologies were young. And it was an amazing time. And this was time full of opportunities. And I think this is the first necessity, if you want to do something, is to see those opportunities around. And those opportunities are plenty. And you don't need to wait some particular period of time for these opportunities, and especially in our technology field. There are several waves. Like that wave was when companies started to embrace the power of personal computers, and that opened opportunities for us. The next wave was internet development, then mobile revolution. Now there are, again, Internet of Things is opening many new opportunities. You just have to open your eyes and embrace those. Our opportunity was to address the need to teach computer, to make it language savvy. At that time, it was not very easy to work in Latvian language with your computers. And bigger companies, they do care about language support, but they are focusing on where the money is, where the bigger markets are, not on the smaller languages like our native Latvian. And that opens opportunity for smaller local players. And so that was actually almost by accident when we were first asked, I was studying at university computer sciences with my friend Uldis, and we were asked, can you help us with developing some language support for computers, for newspaper, for the bank? And when we saw, this is an opportunity to start our own business. And we developed the first spelling checker for Latvian, and then later grammar checker, and it's still in development. Grammar rules are very interesting and complex. We moved to speech technologies, and it's still a challenge to address the complexity of language to the computer, understand actually what are you talking, and is able to respond in a smart way. And actually some of these technologies you can see at the demo center here. With our virtual assistant, call it Laura, to chat with her. And in the 90s, we started to develop first dictionaries to address translation needs, to cross this language barrier between countries. Latvia opened it to Europe and to the world. And that became a huge business. And it's important for society, for economy, for business, and also for politicians. And we were very proud to have presidents of 3 Baltic states at the opening event of Baltic language translation tools, for example. And in these years, another thing is you have to work hard. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know, maybe for some other guys it just happened like a miracle. I don't know, Facebook story, probably, but I think Zuckerberg also worked hard. We worked really hard and are still working hard, but this shows up if you focus on real needs of real users and do the things what you like to do and what you believe in, then success will follow. And our success was to be able to meet the needs of thousands of users, and we are very proud of and happy to serve many users. We do have more than 350,000 installations of our tools in Baltic countries and beyond. And today, Tilde is a leader in language technologies in Baltic countries and one of the leading companies in Europe, specializing in language technologies, with offices in all 3 Baltic capitals and about 130 employees. And I should say that's, again, a big responsibility. Entrepreneurship is also about taking responsibility. Taking responsibility not only about yourself, but about your company, about your customers, your clients, and your employees, your teammates. And it's not an easy task. But it's if you do that, truly following your heart and put your energy into that, that pays off. And we are in business for many years. And again, it's these developments of these companies it's a different psychology, different challenges in every stage of development. I like this graph of Andrejs methodology. It's Mr. Andrejs has created this way how to explain development of companies. It's at the beginning, it's a courtship. It's kind of a fair with your dreams, with your small team, with your first clients. It's everything so romantic, so enthusiastic. But then again, after going to the next phase, to infancy phase, you are actually quite vulnerable. You already have first clients. You have to take care about them to make them both happy. You have to pay salary every year, every month, sorry. And you need to get some income for your company, and you have to pay for premises, for computers, for the electricity. And many companies fail to do that, and it's infant mortality. But when you can go to the next phase, this go-go phase, when you have your clients, your business, but again, it's very risky phase when you are happy with what you have some clients, you have some products, and you can stay on this phase, and actually it's kind of stagnation, or you can die out, because if the limits of the company are your personal limits, and your personal ceilings are not very high, then there's not such a good luck for the company. And then again, always further stages of development of the company, that's entrepreneurship and challenges every day. And this is adrenaline and also excitement that drives that every day. So, next thing, I think it's important to find your niche and to focus on your niche. And you can successfully find it if you, again, follow what you truly believe on, where you see your strength is, or where you see that you can build your strength, not trying to do everything possible, but be the best in the field what you have chosen. And our field is where language and technology merges, and that requires a specific skill sets. Like linguists traditionally are regarded as like old school guys, and all we do have is memories about teachers that marking all the errors in your schoolwork. Nowadays, language workers, I think it's the profession of the future. Because we are talking about big data. Most of big data is not just numbers and figures, it's text. On the web, you have immense amount of information flooding in every day. Millions and millions of tweets every day. That's fantastic information that you can extract extract knowledge out of and drive your business and economy and social life. But you need to merge language and technology for that. And I believe that future of technologies is in more human interaction with computers, not, touch is a good step in that direction, but it's just the beginning of more human or natural interaction, speech and voice, and being able to communicate with your devices and actually not thinking about those as devices, but as your assistants that are helping you. And all that areas those require this synergy of language and technology, and this is our field. And you need to have challenging goal. And in Europe, Europe is rich in languages. We do have 24 official languages, and in addition to that, about 60 regional or minority languages widely spoken in Europe. And that's a big challenge, and that's actually a big barrier for communication and for digital single market. And we can vividly see that in this actual representation by Twitter. This is a graph of language barriers. These colors represent the different languages in which social communication on Twitter is going on. And you clearly see these barriers. It's not across borders, it's inside countries, encapsulated in language borders. And this is probably why I would say Greeks do not understand Germans, or Russians sometimes do not understand Latvians, because we do have these language borders, and many times we do not understand the officials in Brussels, sorry. And how to cross these language barriers. And famous writer and philosopher Umberto Eco said, the language of Europe, it's a translation. We need translation. And again, technology has a big role here. And it's, you know this theory about disruptive technology, that old, new technologies are changing the way how you do the things previously. And in translation, it used to be mostly by human-driven profession translators that use dictionaries and some tools to help them. Nowadays, it's more and more machine translation, where humans are helping machines, but machines are doing the heavy load of translation. And actually, it's the only way how we can cope with those huge amount of information that needs to be translated. And here is fantastic potential for creativity, because this is a new field. This is linguistic, technology, and engineering tasks. And here, potential for creativity is fantastic. But how to unleash that? And you probably know then that there's nothing better than a great team of people. Even the best, the smartest person individually is not able to do the things that 2, 3, you may think average persons, but actually very talented persons can unleash their talent in a teamwork. Teamwork is very important. I would say it's critical nowadays to achieve something. Lonely player cannot be successful. And for teamwork, again, you need these skills, and these technologies actually are not very helpful for that. We see like a new generation of autists that are very smart, tweeting hundreds of tweets every day, but who are not able to communicate face to face or convince something, or who do not feel empathy for the things. Empathy is also very important in our technology field. You need to have empathy with your client to understand the client needs. And we do have very good researchers in our company, and every researcher is difficult. There is very specific personalities, and you also have to create this environment where they can work together and unleash their creative potential. And again, it's not only about your company, where the success is incorporating with others. And we do have excellent experience cooperating with European universities and research centers, and thanks to European funding programs, framework programs, and Horizon 2020 are excellent mechanism bringing together researchers and companies to drive innovation. And this helped us to develop machine translation tools that are serving different purposes. And just to show you some examples, with Hugo.lv is a public machine translation system for Latvian government, what can translate like government regulations for Latvian to English instantaneously. If you are coming to Latvia and need to understand how to start your business or what are requirements in your field, you can easily use that translation tool and to get this information done immediately. We help Lithuanian public sector to address translation need with a public machine translation system in Lithuania, what is just released. And it has also a mobile component to include even more people for this. And also Estonian machine translation. Baltic countries are different, but in some sense similar. And we were very happy that the Estonian president got interested in this and even tried to translate Shakespeare, but that translation was not very good, I should say. For contemporary language, it's much better translated. And then success drives success, but you also don't have to be afraid of failures. You cannot get success if you are afraid to fail. But the first success brings the next success, and we were happy also to get interest from Microsoft, and our team went to Redmond helping Microsoft to improve their machine translation system for smaller languages. And they even put the unusual sign credit on their web Bing translator. If you translate from Latvian, you can see this credit to Tilde. And goal should be challenging. And for translation, it's always difficult. The translation by machine is never perfect. And you can laugh all the time about all these strange translations. But we have ambition. And our ambition is to be better in the world. We cannot be perfect, but we can be better than others. And benchmark currently has been set by Google. And our ambition is to be better than Google. And this is how we measure our success in machine translation. And we are happy that these systems what we have developed focused on our niche markets, on our small languages. We cannot beat Google on English, French, or Chinese and Japanese translations, but we can be the best for Latvian, for Lithuanian, for English, and to expand to a few other languages. We also based machine translation quality for Lithuanian. And here in this building, people also working at Secretariat or media people can benefit from the machine translation support of MT system, what is adapted for EU presidency. You can see translation kiosk or stand at the demo center where this system is also demoed, and it's in media center, so that, for example, we had the case that Italian journalist was interested to see this system, and he started to play with it and opened the news site, and there was a news piece about mayor of Riga. He said, "Oh, brilliant, I can read that." Half an hour after that news piece appeared on Latvian website, Very Fresh News, that Italian journalist got that information, and he said, "I have to go to interview him this afternoon. I will ask him tough questions about these current developments in Latvia that I have learned just by the help of this machine translation engine." That's a fantastic case that drives our developments and creates that excitement. Excitement is very important to build for yourself and for your company. And finally, talking about skills, nowadays, this is world is becoming flat, and I'm very happy that Commission is listening that industry needs, what entrepreneurs needs, how to help them, what are these challenges and issues, what to address. And we were approached by a Commission, actually not just we, but the community, with network of companies and research centers that work in language areas, asking, what do you think about these language barriers? How can we break that barrier. And I would like to promote a big event that will happen here in Riga in a month, Riga Summit, where this policy will be defined and strategy how to break these language barriers. And we're also happy to contribute with our input in this strategy. And again, it's not just about your company, but it's about to help a larger, broader case that address the real needs of society. Oops. Yeah. This is our story. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Andrejs. Your enthusiasm has actually prompted the first question on Twitter. Actually, first 2 questions on Twitter for you, but we'll get to those a little bit later. Now, I would like to give the floor to Kristaps Banga, who is going to show us something quite exciting that he's doing.
Hello. Before starting my video, I will shortly introduce myself. I represent SME segment, as here is a big guy sitting with the big companies. Yep. But I think SMEs has a very good opportunities in these changing times, because we can move fast, and entrepreneurship skills what are having SMEs can help to change the rules in the market. Because to be an entrepreneur, it's as colleague mentioned, it's kind of of course you can learn some kind of things you can learn, but most of the skills it's kind of you just feel you need to do, you need to move, and you need to change. And as everybody knows, also Rainis, we celebrate in Latvia Rainis 150 years anniversary, and one of the main thesis was that those who will change, those survive, right? And I think for entrepreneurs, and even more for serial entrepreneurs, it's very important to follow the market, to follow the tendencies. And if there is a digital trend, and we know that all the world is, or not all the world, is even maybe cosmos is going digital, right? Who knows? After some years, we will be making conferences on the moon. So we need as entrepreneurs to be the first cosmonauts and go on the new field and to do this. And my field of expertise and of my team is maybe more visual side of the digital skills and creative coding, and using a lot of digital innovations. And I think it's, I hope, I see there is also some young people sitting, and I think those visual things and sometimes is the one which attracts more youth. And there's some minutes ago was mentioning that we need to start coding and learn digital things more earlier. And I really think that by seeing this showreel about what we have done for last 2 years, that will attract youth to try new things and to see the results. That it's not only like code, it's you can make so wonderful things, and you can help not only in entertainment segment, you can help educational segment, you can help health segment. There is it's all about your creativity and mix of entrepreneurship and coding skills. But one more thing from my side as an entrepreneur and owner of the company, I think it's also very important to pinpoint that it's not mandatory for everybody to get and be entrepreneur. So where will then we will got those coders, right? If everybody would want to be as entrepreneurs. I think everybody needs to follow their own intuition, and always if I meet some friend of mine who are saying, you know, I have some idea, and what do you think? I'm saying, yes, always try. Maybe you are the one who also will be entrepreneur. Trying is, I think, is in a core, but also by trying and doing, people can understand whether they are entrepreneurs or maybe there are professionals who can, by making teams with entrepreneurs, can do those wonderful things. So yes, enjoy our stuff, and then afterwards we can talk about more. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. There's a lot of creativity, and there's a lot of pressure on me now because I'm a really bad timekeeper. But I still would like to do a short questions and answers session, maybe 1 minute per answer. So, any questions in the room so far? If not, we are gonna use the Twitter question that was addressed if my technology will recognize my fingerprint. Okay, Toms Kursītis is asking, what are you suggesting to young IT businessmen who have good ideas but no experience and limited finance? Go to the bank and take a loan, or better search investors from the industry working not as owners but as partners? So this goes to Andrejs, but I think maybe others also can answer, but just very briefly.
Yeah. If you want to try career of entrepreneur, you have to start by doing. Spend your weekends, spend your nights. If you really like what you do, you can do something even with a very little money or no money at all. And then create something that you can show and go to there are many options to get funding, seed funding for startups at investment companies or with TechHub Riga. And if your idea is great and if your heart is in what you are doing, you will be supported.
Okay, any questions from the audience? Okay, please.
Hi, Kundamar. It's the third time that I'm on such an event, and it seems to be that there's not really an agreement about which type of skills is most important, coding skills or management skills. My question to you guys is, what is your individual perception of the skills that are ultimately important to solve this e-skills gap?
Anyone?
Is this last thing working? Okay, yes. It is now. Okay, I think the mindset, determination is important, and actually that's also part of the skill set, I'd say. The mindset part is important, and then it really depends what sort of problem you're addressing and solving, either as an SME or a startup, having a digital product or selling into a digital channel, being just an SME like physical products or something. It's secondary. I mean, that would be my answer in general. There's no. It's rhetorical, you know. There's which foot is more important, left or right? Is it management or the professional skill more important? It depends. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Time for one more. No. Okay.
Just
yes,
add
please.
something. I also think that it depends. I mean, there is no one answer to your question. The key point is that what we observe is that we can't just have one type of skills now if we want to be successful, and that's the case in particular for managers. The managers, they have not only to have managerial skills, but they have also to have some other skills, in particular have some knowledge about ICT technologies. So it's what we try to do. It's to ensure that in the MBA schools and university, when the teachers are learning managerial skills, they also add some other skills. So it's really the mix-up of different types of skills which will make the difference, according to me.
The first speaker mentioned the process of digitalization of the traditional industries of the European Union, and it is now a big opportunity, a big challenge. But what are the leading countries in Europe in the process of the digitalization of the existing traditional sectors of the economy, and not only in the European Union? The leading countries.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, your question is some example of countries outside of the EU?
Within the EU.
And also outside,
okay.
who are successful in the process of digitalization.
So very briefly, you have in some, let us start with the EU. In the EU, you have some cities where they have created, we could call them incubators or hubs, I don't know, where they just organize partnerships between some entrepreneurs, which have knowledge of ICT technologies, with some other managers wanting to transform their business. And so it's a kind of peer-to-peer advice. And we have it in the UK, we have it in Berlin, for instance, we have it also in Paris. So in some big capitals in the EU, we have this kind of initiative. So what we would like to do, of course, it's to do it everywhere. In Latvia, I don't know whether you have this kind of institute. Maybe some could reply, I don't know.
Well, I can briefly comment, yeah, but I probably, we don't have exactly the acceleration history here for many good reasons. We have sort of generalistic business incubation, sort of, not a tech incubation, but I probably can go back when I speak about that.
Okay.
Well, very short comment. LICTA, this is Information Innovation Technology Association in Latvia, is also supporting smaller businesses, helping them to acquire e-skills necessary to drive and digitize their business.
Okay, well, thank you. And we need to move forward, and now we'll look at some really great tools for the entrepreneurs that are offered by Mihails and his presentation. Please, the floor is yours.
And the mic, please.
Yes, Lazio.
Hello, my name is Mihails Galuška, and actually I'm the veteran who Andrejs was pointing to, because I represent an ICT company which is 90 years old, so we actually started before World War II. And we provide digital signature services since that time, of course. In my time slot, I'll just spotlight some ideas ideas about how digital signature can change our lives or businesses when you appropriately use it. Just in general, so when you sign some documents on paper, you need 3 to 30 days to get all signatures done and document arrived back to you, which is the point in time where you can start serving your customers. So, and with digital process, with digital signing, we shrink this time, we reduce this time to 3 to 30 minutes. So actually the processing time, the pure processing time is reduced dramatically, which brings particular benefits, of course, to you and some advantages comparing to all other competitors. And which is important, which is the core thing there, this document, digitally signed document, is legally binding, so it is valid to be used in courts when you have dispute. But that's the bad thing. The good thing about this is that it helps you to be faster than your competitor. Actually, you are there at the customer's site already when your competitor just arrives with the paper. So you have contract in hands. You start delivering your service earlier than your competitor do. So you reach the most distant parts of the country where there is no your physical presence, no offices, nothing, just your customer with the internet. So you bring service there. And this speeds up delivery of your service. So you start delivering your service immediately when you have paper signed, not paper, but electronic document signed. So of course it saves your time and operational costs. And this is what we have experienced here in Latvia so we started delivering digital signature services in 2007. Actually, and those benefits, of course, it was like organic development, not like a revolution. But the last year we thought, why don't we bring those benefits to the customers cross-border? So not in Latvia only, but since there are many businesses which operate in all 3 Baltic countries, or they target Baltic market as a single market in all 3 countries. So we decided to meet with our Lithuanian and Estonian colleagues who are delivering digital signature services in their countries, and we December last year we delivered this what we call cross-border digital signing, which actually allows people in all 3 countries to digitally sign the same electronic document using their national ID cards equipped with digital signature. So of course there's infrastructure in place which allows to do this, but now you can sign this the same electronic document in your country and shrink this distance between countries to virtually 0. So you do it in 3 to 30 minutes, so you don't have to travel to Tallinn, to Vilnius, to any other city in neighbor country to sign contracts or statement or whatever document you need. And just so actually this is the way we implement this digital single market here in the Baltic states, in Baltic scale. And this is becoming not a buzzword actually, but the reality. And just to demonstrate how it happens, how simple or complicated it is, I'll now switch my role from being representative of IT company to the representative of sports organization like Latvian Water Polo Federation. And in order to develop our athletes, we partner a lot with sports organizations in neighbor countries. So, and in order to do that, we signed earlier this year. We signed a contract with Lithuanian Water Polo League, and this is I'll just show the video how it happened on my side here. So when I received this document signed by Lithuanian counterpart. So here is my desktop and the document I've just received. And here you see Lithuanian signature, and I go and check and validate it, so whether it's okay or not okay. So it's valid, yeah, it's green now, it's good. So I read through the document, it's fine with me to sign it. And I just press the sign button. And of course, for security reasons, I'm asked for several PIN codes, and now actually the signing process. So it's done. So signatures of 2 representatives are there. I'm saving document and sending it over email. So that's what I do, and that's the signing process, so done in 1 or 2 minutes. And actually I did it using this card. And yeah. It's there. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's it. The only huge disadvantage of this, of course, you cannot shake hands immediately after signing. So, but we live with it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. This seems to be a really good tool, except sometimes when you send this, the organization sends you a letter back asking, could you please send it over regular mail? But let's hope that will happen less and less in the future. So, okay, now the floor goes to Fabrizio Porrino from FacilityLive from Italy. Please.
Hello. Well, I'm not going to stand, and I will try to stay within the 5 minutes I was told I have. So it is an honor for us, an Italian company, to be invited to this event by the presidency. I'm happy to see many references to Italy. Umberto Eco, the Italian journalist. Well, and now you have an Italian company, which is quite good at what it does. I'm here today on behalf of the company. My CEO wanted to come. He really wanted to come, but he couldn't make it, Gianpiero. And what I did is I bring you a digital version, and I hope you're going to enjoy it.
Qualsiasi azione della nostra vita comincia da una ricerca, perché il nostro cervello è abituato a cercare. In questa fase storica dobbiamo costruire tecnologie human-like, cioè tecnologie che ragionino con il modo di pensare, di trattare l'informazione proprio dell'uomo. I motori di ricerca su cui siamo abituati avevano il compito di andare in una massa enorme di informazioni che era il web e tirar fuori qualcosa. Noi invece andiamo a fare un altro mestiere. Prima strutturiamo le informazioni, quindi prima S structure, seconda permettiamo di cercarle, quindi search, e la terza S è simplify. Noi diamo la possibilità attraverso la nostra tecnologia, ad esempio a un'azienda, di trovare più facilmente le informazioni andando a prenderle da tante fonti contemporaneamente e facendole vedere in un'unica videata con un'unica ricerca in un modo che non è oggi possibile realizzare con altre tecnologie. Una tecnologia, quando è veramente innovativa, disruptive, ha un ciclo di vita che normalmente è di 15 anni per arrivare sul mercato, quindi siamo perfettamente in time se la nostra, come ci auguriamo e ci dicono in tanti, è veramente una tecnologia che cambierà le cose. Abbiamo raccolto 10 milioni di euro senza capitale pubblico e senza banche, quindi da privati che hanno creduto in un'iniziativa italiana e stiamo cercando di fare il cammino per diventare una grande azienda internazionale del software, le premesse ci sono. Ci presentiamo tra le altre cose all'ufficio brevetti statunitense in America dicendo: signori, noi abbiamo fatto un motore che funziona meglio di Google. E le abbiamo presentato 3 videate della ricerca Leonardo da Vinci fatta su Google e 3 videate di Facility con la ricerca Leonardo da Vinci fatta su Facility. Poi abbiamo scritto 20 pagine per spiegare perché noi riuscivamo a fare una serie di cose meglio di Google e 2 anni fa l'ufficio brevetti americano ci ha detto: avete ragione. In 6 mesi i brevetti diventano brevetti in 43 paesi del mondo, Israele, Giappone, Sudafrica, tutti i paesi europei, la Russia. Allora forse non eravamo così matti. Noi stiamo cercando di fare il percorso per andare al London Stock Exchange. Non so quante altre aziende europee in questo momento, invece che essere attratte dalla Silicon Valley, pensino che la via europea istituzionale del London Stock Exchange e delle aziende europee sia la migliore. Ho avuto la fortuna quest'anno di essere 3 volte in Parlamento europeo, a Strasburgo e a Bruxelles, a parlare di queste cose ed è esattamente quello che ho detto. Vogliamo fortemente rimanere italiani europei e contribuire a creare un'industria tecnologica europea nel futuro.
I still have 1.5 minutes, so if the gentleman over there could put on the slideshow, I will only show you 2 slides, I promise. In the meantime, I'll show you that this is real. This is a copy of our patent from the US, where if you want, you can go through it and you can see what they say about us benchmarking Google. I just want to show you, well, this is all the successes. That it's not only important to become success stories. Of course, we want to make it, but it's also important what you do with it. And so for us, it's important to be Italian and stay Italian. Honestly, I worked in the Silicon Valley, and I joined FacilityLive because FacilityLive doesn't want to go to Silicon Valley at the moment. because we think it's the wrong message. We think that we need to build the European industry in Europe. I'm not against American companies. I love American product. I believe in there. I owe part of my career to US companies. But we need to grow and stand on our legs and build again a European industry in Europe. And to do that, as we have heard, I mean, we need coders. We need people with e-skills. The issues we know are there. Today, somebody was saying that there's no easy solution. Well, here you have an easy solution. So we are developing pro bono an European search engine for coding. It's called U2 Coding. We presented last year at an event in Pavia where we had 2 commissioners, the spokesperson of Neelie Kroes and several MEP. And we are happy to share it, well, I don't know what's going on here, with as many stakeholders as possible. And basically, we are giving our technology to Europe because with this, you can, in one single place together all the courses or the learning tools that are already available, because this is the problem. We have solutions. There are easy solutions. Nobody knows where they are. Or you may know that there is a course in Riga, but at the same time, there are many other courses in Europe. And there are events like this one spread out Europe in parallel. But it's really difficult for people to find what they want. And as we say in our video, we need to structure, simplify it, and help the search for the people that want to learn coding. So this is our proposal, and I'm not going to promote the company now. I'm just saying, I mean, if you're interested, please reach out to us. We are keeping on developing the development. We are looking, of course, for people that are willing to support us in this mission. And we would be gladly be willing to give it, to the European citizen, and together with many other companies and with the scales and the Commission and the Parliament, for free, because this is what we need. We need cooperation. We need to really give it away and share what we have if we want Europe to go back on track. Last thing, it's 3 seconds. It's a quiz. I have to do it because I'm from Italy and I'm from a special town. So, and also because I think we need to learn from the past. Who knows who invented, the first desktop computer? You can Google it. The inventor was Olivetti. I'm from the city of Olivetti. And in case of doubts, I mean, you can even see that they were already making Olivetti store, and somebody is liking, So, to reply also to the answer to the young guys over there, what we need to transform traditional business into digital services, we need European companies. And I finished.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And last but not least, the floor goes to Viesturs Sosārs, who I guess has a place for new companies to go if they want to start working in the area.
Okay, I also try timekeeping because I sense that you're not very prepared listening for more than 5 minutes. So first thing, it always helps me a little bit to understand who's listening to me. So who just by raising your hand, who works in public sector, please, of you? Okay, that's what I thought, yeah. And who's the press people? Okay. Who works for bigger companies like corporations and things? Okay, a couple of them. Who works for startups or SMEs, whichever you do? Okay, perfect. Good. Okay, now I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm around in a tech industry, a tech startup space for about actually this millennium, the last 14 years or so. Before that, I was working for a corporation, which was overly boring, so I quit. I've done a few companies, invested in few myself, and also run a VC fund here. So lots of hats, and also teach entrepreneurship as a hobby. Right, so I was asked to talk a little bit about what TechHub is, and there were inspirational speeches by Andrejs and others, so I do a technical one. So if you, TechHub is actually to TechHub Riga. So some of you who are from UK have heard of TechHub London, which was the first spot, and we're just a franchise basically. And, but very independent working, and actually the business model is different here, slightly different from as it is in London. So we are co-location. We're simple, merely co-location. We're not an accelerator, incubator. We do not invest into companies. Okay, all those myths to be cleared. We're just offering the space for young companies or even projects, not necessarily companies, like 1, 2, 3 people coming over and working. That's an open space, and if you grow, then you have your probably small, like glass wall cubicle, but that's what we do. But yes, and why that's sort of why we think it's an important thing, because that it is about community. Starting up is about community, and you have to build the community to the wannabes to sort of learn from those who doing it, not some wise guy coming in and advising and mentoring things, which is important as well, but like peer-to-peer, working together, sharing things, even like going to Catinat and sharing things over coffee. It really works. So it brings me back to the idea of what's the most important thing for startup. And I share the startup perspective, okay? I'm not that much in, for the last, say, 10 years, I'm not in SMEs. And you know what's the difference? Because again, it's oftentimes it's mixed. The startups are taken for SMEs and the other way around, okay? The simple, and the startups sort of are a subsection, but very specific beast, very specific subsection of SME. So what's the difference? Just that's the technical part of my speech. That the startup is a new company which does something that is scalable. Okay, that's a very simple way. SMEs are the traditional businesses or consultancy businesses which you start and grow organically, and a startup is something you need external funding, equity, basically external equity funding, and it is potentially scalable. And in this sense, I hate this Andrejs framework for startups, because they talk about infant mortality and about it's about 90%, right? Harsh kind of feeling of calling that infant mortality for startups. Okay, so I think it's really difficult for me in a way, in a sense, to talk about the digital transformation impact on startups, because essentially because of the digitalization, the startups have come into existence, right? Because first, the huge market opportunity, people using digital stuff opens the opportunities for offering solutions. Solutions to their problems there. Secondly, and that goes together also with a physical goods and services and other sort of SME activity, that the channel-wise, it opens up the channels of selling the physical goods over the digital channels. Like we buy, I believe most of you here have bought shoes and jeans and your phone, your smartphone, or whatever, telly over the internet. So we don't go and buy them in the stores anymore. Or some of us don't. And that's another thing. But I think the most crucial thing which has changed is that and actually Michel touched upon that, is what is the biggest change for me is the way how we do things, the execution part of our entrepreneurial activity, of our business. Meaning that because it's currently, I'm not referring to startups, it's also for SMEs and lifestyle businesses. Currently, it's damned easy to ask your customers or potential customers' opinion. And there are lots of ways to do that, right? over digital means, and you can actually gather that information and iterate the products very quickly. And that's a cool stuff, because it saves time, money, and resource at the end, even for sort of a non-digital product companies offering innovative business models or innovative products or through innovative channels and relationship like media, spreading the news out. So I think that's the biggest sort of challenge, and it requires, then going back to what I started with, it requires a certain mindset that allows you to iterate and allows you to fail and change your path quickly, which we call pivots, right, in the startup world. So basically, that is, and that's a whole entire change of a paradigm how entrepreneurs think about things. It's not about execution that much. It's about search, iteration, and then like quick execution if you find the product market fit or whatever you call it, in very smart terms. So that is, I think, it like raises itself even about the notion, the concept of entrepreneurship. It's about how we think about lives. We think about lives, just try out things. Okay, that don't work. Let's do corrective action and do other things. We're not like executing and it actually echoes also the way how we learn, right? We even 20, 30 years ago, it was like your major, your degree for life. Nowadays, there is no such thing as most probably you will end up doing completely different things at the end of your life where you started at 25. So all sorts of the implications of that. And the last thing I want really, again, echo, I sort of heard Michel was saying that, and I was so happy I heard it from the official of the EU that actually, I think I'm very liberal in that respect, that the policymakers, and that's why I'm really glad talking to you so many here, the best thing to do is to create the climate and create some incentives, but the thing is coming from bottom up, essentially. You can't, so please guys, please, never fix the things that ain't broken, as we know, and don't overmanage things, okay? Try guiding them and try probably sharing the best examples, but never overmanage on I don't know, entrepreneurial policy making. Okay, that's it for me.
Thank you very much. So after all, the high startup mortality rate is not such a bad thing.
No.
Because you learn from your mistakes.
No, of course. It's okay, it's great. And it's one more thing about European versus US context. And I'm a bit more pessimistic on that. I can't really see that Europe is catching up, and that we can elaborate on that. And the major thing why we're not that good is, again, it's a cultural thing. In Europe, in general, I'm overgeneralizing, that depends, and that says Northern Europe has a slightly different perspective on that than Southern Europe, but in general, I would say culturally, we're not ready to fail. And we're not sort of tolerating the failure to the degree we can do radically new things. And that traces back to the mindset, to the culture.
Yeah, so we're slightly transitioning into the discussion, and Fabrizio from Southern Europe has also something to say.
Well, I have to say I'm a kind of a mix, because I'm Italian. I live in Brussels now. I started my career in Dublin, and then went to Los Angeles, Silicon Valley. Now I'm back, so I've been exposed to various environments. I'm not pessimistic. What I can tell on the basis of my experience is that Silicon Valley is a great place. American companies are doing tremendously good, globally as well. But if a European, you live there, you will feel a difference. I mean, there is a cultural difference. We have to face it. I mean, it goes back to history. This is the fact. And then when I came back to Europe, and actually I was a civil servant working for the European Commission and then for the Parliament, before joining FacilityLive, I mean, I realized that we have some niche of excellence. It's just that, you know, we don't create a community. We have to keep them to create our distributed Silicon Valley, if you want to call it. Also because we always talk about Silicon Valley, but I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the telephone was invented by Meucci. He's Italian again. The desk computer was invented by Olivetti. And Olivetti, where I was raised, was already at Silicon Valley. And I can tell you that at my time when I was at school, I was doing coding. So my question is, how come that in the 90s, 80s, I was already doing coding in school, and then it all stopped. Okay, Olivetti went bust, and then nobody ever thought, well, maybe they were doing it was a good model, we should replicate. No, we stopped, and then we said, go to the US. The US is the place to be. Everybody should go there because it's a great country. You have a dream. Yes, you can do. I mean, this is true. In the US, they open you a lot of doors. But this dual system of asking you to move the IP and the headquarters to the US and leaving the development in Europe is like what's happening in India, in China. And honestly, I mean, these are great countries. I mean, but this is not what I want for Europe. I mean, we have a past. We have to learn from our past. We have to learn from our history. We have a much longer history than other parts of the world. And we have to build on that and capitalize on that. We don't have to forget, you know, our past because somebody is better. You know, we have to face this reality. And we just need to get together, not be spread out as it is now, and look for solution, just not saying, oh, you know, there's no easy solution. Okay, there is not an easy solution, fine. But the job of EU institution is to address market failure. We have a market failure because we don't have enough coder, we don't have enough engineer, find a solution. It's not just, you know, oh, we could do that, we can do that. Oh, there is a study showing, I mean, let's look for solution. This is what they do in Silicon Valley. They look for solution. So let's start doing the same. But the solution is not going there, giving away all our intellectual property in exchange for petty cash, because this is what we do. We go there, and then they create great companies, but we're giving away, you know, value. You know, let's bring it back. Let's do it here. And just work together. I mean, I asked, you know, I see Digital Europe here. Please create a European summit in Brussels where you get together everybody, not only the big companies. You have to start with these little companies, SME. Let's do, I don't know, a Dangerous Dragon, I don't know what the name in English is. It's I mean, okay, there are many contests. Let's organize a contest in Brussels, in the European Parliament. This is the place of citizens, you know, and you bring in startups, and you make them pitch them, and you call venture capitalists, investors from the rest of the world to Brussels. Because this is what we have to do, not organizing tour paid with EU money to go to Silicon Valley. This is crazy.
Thank you, Fabrizio. We have minus 10 minutes, but with your permission, we'll continue until maybe 1 o'clock, if that's okay. So, Michel, please.
Thanks. If I may just add something on this issue. From my perspective, I think that our objective is not at all to create a European Google or a European Microsoft or a European Cisco. And I mean, it's not what we are discussing here. What we are addressing here, it's how to use these technologies. And I think that here in the EU we have a lot of competitive advantages because we are much more creative, if I may say so, if there are some American citizens here in the... I think that we are much more creative in a way. And so what we have to try to do is to smartly use this kind of technologies in such a way that we will be able to develop some very competitive business models, as it has been said, also to have some specific contacts with the clients, and all these digital tools allow to really deliver something adapted to the customers. So it's where we have to make the effort, according to me. Alors, what is missing in the EU to do that? It's to have a digital single market. We know that for those companies which are digitalized, the advantage of being digitalized is that you can immediately reach out huge market, not only your local market, but the European market and the worldwide market. And we know that there are some barriers in the EU to allow these digitalized companies to access to customers in the EU. So one of the objectives of the digital single market of ANSIP is to remove this kind of barriers. So if we are able to do that, and I hope we will be able to do that, I don't think that we have really, that we will not be able to transform our industry. And I think that we will be very competitive, including with regard to the US.
I think we all have a long list of questions, but I think that those will have to go to lunch. But maybe still one question to the entrepreneurs present. Maybe you can answer very briefly and very concretely, very specifically. Is what would you expect from the European digital single market? What would be your expectation from it, from this policy?
The good thing is that there is this goal to create really digital single market and to remove those barriers and fragmentation. I still think that the focus is on like lower hanging fruits, where you just need to put regulations and make some policy decisions, what of course is difficult among all those member states, but still there are some major challenges, like in our field, these language barriers. This is a big challenge, but we have to address it. We cannot avoid it. If you want to have digital single market, you need European approach to address it, and Europe could be the leader in this field.
Thank you.
Just adding small comment. I think it's a very good initiative, but to make a big speech small, I think it's very important not to develop this strategy just in sake of strategy for the entrepreneurs, but it's important, I think, to develop with entrepreneurs this kind of strategy.
Okay, thank you.
In my opinion, so it's also very important to stay also to not to lose this practical point. So just to understand what me as a person, as a citizen, will get out of this. So because sometimes it's quite hard to get the idea what the policy actually says. Also what kind of benefits it will bring to the regular people. So.
Well, for me, yeah, sure. I don't want a digital market bringing up barriers. So I don't want something that says, oh, we need European companies, so everybody else out. I don't want this. I want a digital single market knocking down barriers and bringing in the rest of the world in terms of capital and knowledge back to Europe.
Well, what can I add? Like lowering barriers is always good. It saves you time, money, etc. If we believe in competition, I think one thing which was really nicely mentioned also, this is not for all the digital transition, whatever. It's not the ends in it. It's means. It's a tool. I mean, it's something which may help Europe to regain the competitiveness, which I still believe, which are extremely lacking these days compared to other bigger regions, North America and Asia in particular. So that's probably one of our last chances, guys, to get back on track. So let's treat it seriously from that respect.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. I think we had a great discussion. I hope there are more than one in this hall that from you who would consider a career in digital entrepreneurship, putting your passion together with technology and perhaps creating something out of that, and then sitting in your country home, just selling your product online and sending bills. I think that would be, our ideal. But just to have a very brief conclusion, I read something that is coming. I'm not sure. I think he's an American. Walt Disney. We all know him, but I don't know whether his heritage is also American. But I found that on Whatify website. That's the Commission's initiative for young entrepreneurs. And he said the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So let's do that. Let's go to lunch. Thank you.